Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for joining Judy and myself here at CLEAR for our updated New York paid family leave series. We're just talking to you all about all of the new updates and what CLEAR is doing to help support you as a company and your employees.
Hi everyone.
That's Judy. So let's get started. So paid family leave, New York paid family leave, or PFL as it's going to be called, abbreviated, is basically administered through our short-term disability carrier, which is Guardian. And the benefit actually takes place starting January 1st, but employees need to pay into it a little bit sooner. We're going to start our benefits and employees' deductions coming out in December, so December 1st. So any pay that happens on or after December 1st will experience this benefit. The employers that want to can choose to cover this deduction. You just need to contact myself or Judy, or anybody at CLEAR and HR, and we can help you to work that out. This does not affect disability. It's a separate deduction. It's actually an employee-funded deduction, and each year the contribution will be established by the government. So you don't need to do anything. We will manage all that for you.
So eligibility, full-time or part-time private employees in New York State are eligible for the paid family leave. So public employers, this does not apply to. And participation in the program is not optional for employees. So employees that are, however, that work outside of the state of New York do not have to participate in the program because they are not charged that tax.
All right, it's important to know when claiming for employees that do want to take or participate in this benefit that they give 30 days advance notice when possible if you can foresee an event. So clearly if you're pregnant, then you be able to foresee that you're pregnant most of the times anyway. And but if something happens and you have a spouse who's injured in an accident or receives devastating news of cancer or something like that, unfortunately, there are almost always negative things when this happens. But we're here to support your employees, and you know, sometimes you need to take advantage of that benefit with less than 30 days notice. So we just try to encourage your employees to be respectful of the time and letting you know so that you can get coverage and then help support them as quickly as possible, especially with the financial portion of this benefit.
As we stated before, the benefit does apply to full-time and part-time employees. If your employee has been employed with you already for 26 weeks, they're covered immediately at January 1. However, if you hire someone new, there is a waiting period of 26 consecutive weeks of employment to be eligible. If they're part-time, then they've worked 175 days of consecutive employment prior to January 1, they are eligible. And if you hire someone new, it's the same scenario. It would be 175 days from when they're hired of the consecutive employment.
Seems like a lot of math, but one of the things that is great about having the co-employment relationship with CLEAR is that you don't have to think about any of these things. You just give the employee over to us and we will manage it, make sure if the benefit is applicable for them, that we'll take care of them and let them know when they can apply for it.
There are instances where we don't have your actual time sheets, so we would have to refer to you to make sure that we know how many days that employee has worked.
So leave benefits. Employees that do participate in this benefit, one of the things that is important for all of our New York State employers to know is that it comes with a financial or monetary benefit, but also time away from work. So you are required to allow this employee to leave if they apply and they are accepted then and qualify. They are allowed to leave and then come back to work with the same or comparable position without loss of benefits or salary. You have to maintain their health insurance while they're out. Employees, you can require employees to pay their portion of their deduction while they're away, or you can cover the cost. That's one of the things that CLEAR can help you with, and Judy and I manage that for all of your employees. So if anybody who's ever had a leave with us, we work on that with you and work on policies with you for that.
So the length of time that they can take off, oh, I'm sorry. The reasons that you can take leave under paid family leave are obviously for maternity and paternity leave, which is bonding, or the care for a spouse, domestic partner, someone who has a serious illness, or active duty deployment. So this benefit is not for your own serious illness or disability.
Right.
That would be through the New York Disability Program.
Correct. And I think that's one of the things that makes the New York policy the strongest policy ever, is that they added the active duty. Leave as well. So that's to take care of anybody who has a close relative that is deployed. If you're a grandparent helping a child who's deployed and you're helping your grandchildren, or something similar to that, the military will give you documentation to help support that.
So a serious health condition is an illness, injury, or impairment, or physical or mental condition for someone who is experiencing an inpatient care or in a hospital, hospice. So it doesn't include things like cosmetic surgery or things like that. And, this will be determined not solely by CLEAR or yourselves. The employee can place the claim and will submit it, and then Guardian will determine if they're eligible.
All right. So paid time off and then New York paid family leave. So PTO, a lot of times in a small organization, under 100 employees or under 50 employees, some people do offer PTO or paid time off, vacation, personal leaves. So sometimes those are paid, and you cannot compel your employee to use their PTO when they're taking advantage of this benefit. So it's really important to know that. We'll talk about it later on in the slides, what CLEAR does to help support you and help you be compliant. But you do need to know, the rules and risks.
Well, in FMLA, if you have 50 employees or more, then you are subject to complying with FMLA. And during FMLA, an employee can take paid time off concurrently with the FMLA, but you cannot, if it's just, you cannot ask them to take the paid time off in lieu of the NYPFL.
And this is just what Judy was talking about.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I forgot that slide is there next.
Yes, what we were just saying is concurrency with FMLA. They do work hand in hand. Some of the policies are similar, but for each employer, everything is going to be customized to what your employee base is. Okay, so we'll handle all that for you.
The required documentation. We have a list of forms that have been provided to us from Guardian and that we have on file. And if an employee needs to go out, you just refer them to us and we'll walk them through everything.
One of the things too is that we're going to give employers copies of all the forms. I think the forms are well done. They're actually pretty easy to look through and understand. They give a guidance on the top portion of the form on how to fill it out. So I think they're very easily used. And the state has a website, which we'll give you a link to, that has the ability to translate the form in, I think, 5 or 6 different languages. So really helpful.
So employees can take the maximum benefit length in any given 52-week period, which is, how much is it? 8 weeks?
Yeah, 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Yes.
Initially, it's 8 weeks. I believe that it will increase every year. And the 52-week clock starts on the first day the employee takes the leave, and it can be taken continuous or intermittent. immediately. So an employee might need to go, say, for chemotherapy 2 hours every day, and so they can take the leave for those 2 hours and get the benefit for those 2 hours based on prorated.
Prorated, correct. Yeah. So, and that's one of the things, you know, in our FAQ is about that. When employees take off, it is prorated. So you take the maximum weekly benefit. Now, if you make less than the money, we're going to talk about that in a couple slides down. But if you make less than the New York average weekly wage, then you would get less. But you take the benefit and you divide it by 40 hours in a normal work week, and then for every hour you get paid for that you're out, you get paid that rate. Oh, here it is. So the paid benefit, and this is just an example. If you make $1,000 a week, you would receive $500, which is 50% of 1,000. So this is only for this year, 2000, or the year coming up, the first of the year of 2018. It comes with a benefit that's time away from work, 8 weeks, up to 8 weeks. And also a financial or monetary benefit, which is 50% of your salary. Now, it's very important to know that if you make over the New York State average weekly wage, which is currently $1305.92, you only get half of that. That's the maximum amount of money that you'll be able to get, which is $652.96. So in 2019, which is a year later, the benefit, the weeks available bumps up to 10, so an extra 2 weeks, and then we give an extra 5%. Now the average weekly wage will be set at that time, and so I'm guessing that it will increase as the weekly wages in New York do increase every year for the next 3 more years. So, and as you can see in 2020, the weekly available weeks or time off benefit stays at 10, but the max that the employee can get is 60% of the New York average weekly wage. And finally, in 2021, the benefits go bump up to 12 weeks available, and the max amount is 67% of the New York State average weekly wage. So this is going to gradually creep up, but you have to know that additionally, as these financial benefits creep up, also the premium will go up a little bit too.
This is the most generous paid family leave benefit in the nation right now.
Yeah. I think it does seem like a burden sometimes to have a lot of regulations coming at you, but it also helps to retain employees and keeps New York State one of the highest populated states, and they have a lot of people coming in to work because of these benefits. So it makes it more attractive to work in the state. So it's really important to realize also that the employees are going to want to know, like, how does this affect me? Because it is an employee paid benefit. Employees do pay, and we've broken it down for per diem of about 24 cents. And these are just averages. Weekly, the amount would be the maximum amount. So this is the most it could be. It could be less. So if an employee who makes less than that average weekly wage will, their percentage will be less than this. Weekly, $1.65, biweekly, $33.30, semi-monthly, $3.60, monthly, $6.60, and then yearly, the most anybody will ever pay is $85.56. So it's broken out over all the pays that you have. So whether you have your paid weekly 52 pays or bi-weekly 26 pays or whatever, a little bit will come out all the time. Okay.
So we've got you covered. Yay! There is so much information to this new ruling, and not everything yet has still been, ironed out with Guardian, but we have contacts there. So if unusual questions come up, that we are certainly here to assist you with those. So we will be notifying you. We'll be sending out packages of employee information to you with a summary of the benefit, and also electronic versions. Employees can call us anytime directly
We also include a list of all the employees that are covered, because some clients might not have every employee covered, could have employees that are out of state. So we'll let you know who you need to forward this package and information to.
And then Olivia and I will be working with you to update your handbook, because this policy should be included in your handbook, and we'll be contacting you in the next couple of months to work with you on that.
April posters will go out at the beginning of January, and this information will be included, along with if you have other states, changes in New York. The
minimum wage
is going to go up a little bit. It could be other laws, so we will send that in updated fashion. And then also we will also clarify your coverage with the state. Just similar to this being a mandated law, the state does want to make sure that you're covered, and so we will send out that coverage. I just want to prep you all that the state does work sometimes a little bit slower, and so you could get a notification that you're not showing, but we do our due diligence and we do send it out. So if you get any notifications, please just let us know, and then we will respond to that. And if you don't get any, that's great, but we are doing our job to make sure that you are covered and that the state knows that you're following regulations.
And here's our contact information, and you have a direct line also to the New York Paid Family Leave line, including that, and you can always call Olivia and I. We always answer the phone. We also provide our cell phone numbers, and at times, and you can call the New York PFL info line. There is someone that answers that phone, so it's just not a recording. They've been really helpful to us also as we've been, preparing to inform you all. So, and then at the bottom is the link to the website that has all of this information, and you will be receiving a copy of this presentation if you request one, or if you're a part of this webinar.
Okay, so we have some questions that were sent in ahead of time, and we just want to go through some FAQs just to let everybody know. I think some people ask about out of state, and so let's reiterate that a little bit more about how that works.
So if you're a New York employer, you're based in New York, and you have an employee who works in Texas, an employee who works in California, maybe someone in Ohio, those employees are not covered by this benefit. They're not eligible. So we will not be deducting the tax from them. If the employee, however, works in New Jersey or Connecticut, or lives in New Jersey or Connecticut and commutes into the office, they will be covered by the benefit because they're working in the state of New York. If they are working remotely and they go into the office, say half their time, they also will be covered by this benefit.
Next question was about spouses who work in the same company. Let's just say you and your husband both work in in the company. Can
both of them?
Yeah, go out if the wife has the baby, or no.
Oh. What? So no, only one employee can take advantage of the benefit if both employees work for the same employer.
Yeah. If you didn't have to, and kind of switch off, one could be off, and then another could be off at a later time. It can't be off at the same time. So that's a good question. If there's any other questions, Judy and I are here and available to help you, and we are looking forward to giving you and your employees excellent service. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day.